We're looking at the passage again from Luke chapter 10 as our focus today, our reflection is called Switching Focus. Now as they went on their way, Jesus entered a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. She had a sister called Mary, who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what he was saying. But Martha was distracted by her many tasks. So she came to him and asked, "Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to do all the work by myself? Tell her then to help me." But the Lord answered her, "Martha, Martha, you are worried and distracted by many things. There is need of only one thing. Mary has chosen the better part, which will not be taken away from her."
Life can sometimes feel like a long to-do list. It always seems like someone else manages to do it better than we do. And maybe in lockdown, there's always seems to be things to do, or maybe always somebody else seems to be maybe taking up a hobby or learning a new language. And all we've managed to do is to get out of bed, have our breakfast, and maybe do the washing up. There is nothing new in frenetic activity and the longing for space, for time to think and just catch our breath, particularly at this difficult time. In our story, Mary is lovingly devoted to Jesus. She hangs on to his every word. We might ask, what if Martha had been like this too? Who would have cooked the dinner? Presumably, eventually, someone would have had to have called for a break and the work would have been shared.
But what we find in this situation is that Jesus validates the choice that Mary makes. She's sitting, she's listening, taking time to reflect, to learn, and to be with God. And of course, Mary would have to work too. But Jesus here reminds Martha that all of us need a balance between activity and rest, between doing and being. We're not human doings, after all, we are human beings. We have to get a balance between throwing ourselves into work and responding to demands and proactively looking after the deeper part of ourselves. It may be that you can only really carve out a minute or two at a time. We're all, many of us, still really quite busy, even in this time of lockdown. But even those couple of minutes are quite precious. Find some time, perhaps today or tomorrow, to sit at the feet of Jesus, to listen to him. Listen to yourself, what's going on inside of you, to the deeper, quieter voices of life.
And our have a go habit is called Mary Moments. And the other day we talked about holding a cup and sit at Jesus' feet. So maybe think about a household task. There are many, maybe boiling the kettle. And maybe as you fill the kettle up, just think about Jesus. Breathe deeply and be aware of Jesus near you. And then in Psalm 16, verse 8, I keep the Lord always before me. So whatever task you're doing, whether it's making a cup of tea, doing the washing up, loading the dishwasher, doing some ironing, doing some gardening, cutting the grass, and the list goes on. Imagine doing it with and for Jesus. So let's pray. I keep the Lord always before me. So Jesus, we come to you right now. We want to sit at your feet and be with you. And when we have jobs to do, help us just to do them with you. And to remember that you are with us in all that we do. Amen.
Amen.